Well, I mean, the fascinating thing, first of all, is, they're a small country like Wales in terms of population. But if you think Wales is rugby mad, and we do, New Zealand, it is a religion, there's no question. And everybody is sort of, in a way, live their lives through the All Blacks. It's peculiar. My first time against them was 1967. 53 had been the last time there'd been any sort of victories over the All Blacks at all. I mean, we felt very much that whatever we did over here, there was always on the horizon. The people we really, really had to measure ourselves against were the All Blacks.
I think in Welsh history and the rugby sort of environment, they're always a team that you want to come and see play. I was lucky enough in '89 to go and watch them play at Stradey Park. It was terrible weather, if I remember correctly, but yeah, so I was lucky enough to see them play a few times, and they have an aura about them, and it was great, and for me it was fantastic. I remember I had an old VCR of the '87 World Cup, which I watched over and over, and I think it finished with the All Blacks doing haka in the change rooms, and I remember loving that and trying to copy that, really. So it was they're obviously very talented, and it was always a pleasure to see them play.
I can well remember my first game against the All Blacks was 1967, and at that time we were still were the side that had beaten them more times than they'd beaten us. Wales beat them in 1953, but again I was a little bit oblivious to that because there was no television, and if there was a few action photographs, they would be Pathé News that you'd watch in the local cinema if you were lucky, between a John Wayne film and and something from outer space or what have you.
They were very much the men in black and the giants of world rugby. And I can remember the sort of tales of Don Clark and the 59 All Blacks beating the Lions, and things like 6 penalty goals and the Lions lost 18-17. And they were always there in that sort of preeminent position as being actually the de facto world champions. And if you were going to do anything, you had to beat the All Blacks.
Yeah, well, I think there's obviously an aura about the All Blacks in terms of their success of late, really, but I think as players, we know that every team we play against is going to play the game of their lives. Everyone's written Wales off this weekend, but they will turn up. It's their World Cup final, and if any of the All Blacks are 1, 2, 3% off the game, we're going to lose.
They have weaknesses as well as any other team. Yes, they're very, very good, but sometimes when you target their individuals, they're not indestructible, really. And I think that sides have shown that in the Northern Hemisphere. I think Ireland, obviously, of late have done it. England have done it.
I thought we would have beaten them in 1967 when I played for the Barbarians at Twickenham. We had them on the rack, and yet, with virtually the last moment of the game, we can all say it was 10-20 minutes into injury time. But they found a way. They found a way of beating us, whereas we didn't quite have the answers, not because we didn't have the ability, but possibly we didn't quite have the belief.
In 1972, the last time I played for Wales against the All Blacks, we should have beaten them, and we didn't do it. We definitely should have drawn the game. Phil Bennett missed a penalty from in front.
There's I've got a photograph at home with the old-fashioned scoreboard with a man ready to put the 3 points in, which would have made it a draw game with the last kick of the game. And Phil, unfortunately, hit the post, and it went the wrong side. But even that would have been a disappointment. No, we had opportunities like everybody else has, but we have to acknowledge it. They know how to win, and that has been their strength for well over 100 years.
Well, I mean, first of all, you have to get rid of that notion that it is the unthinkable completely. Because, I mean, then you are going into it with some sort of inferiority complex. You have to obviously have confidence in the game that you're going to play, and that believe that you've got the firepower to outplay the All Blacks.
You know, there's an element of that, yes. You know, I was sort of fortunate to have a lot of Kiwi coaches when we played Wales as well, which sort of took that edge away a bit, I think. You know, they were more, you can have a go at these guys and have a go and have a crack at them.
I remember sitting down in the dressing room next to Gerald Davis, virtually as I am now, like this, with Gerald next to me. And we said what is possibly the most absurd things to one another. I said, hey, we've won the series. And Gerald looked at me and said, yeah, we've beaten the All Blacks. Yeah. So what? You know, it was almost an instinctive thing. Maybe were we supposed to feel super elated and what have you. In actual fact, the whole thing hadn't quite sunk in.
You know, bar 2002, I think, in Hamilton in 2003, when I played the World Cup game, for example, we just, you know, we said, right, we're going to have a crack. 2004, we came very, very close. And since then, I think the games have been closer. You know, there've been the odd games where New Zealand have been dominant, but because of the touring now and the autumn games, you play them often, so that helps, I think. You know, so for the guys now, they'll be just want to go out and have a crack and you know, test yourself really. That's the big thing. Have that opportunity to go after them.
Yeah, you've got to have a crack, and I often look at teams like France. You know, the French when I was playing, 9 times out of 10 they didn't think they could beat us. So what did they do? They played the game of their lives. They just played fluent rugby, and blow me down, they beat us, and that was a fear for us, playing a team like France, that they actually would relax and enjoy it. But yeah, you've just got to take us on, and you know, we've seen of late in the last few years where the All Blacks have been beatable by teams that have taken us on, not for 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes, but 80, 90 minutes.
Yeah, it is an opportunity. I think deep down they'll be disappointed that they haven't had the full crew to have a crack at them. I think that's obviously what everyone wants. I think the top players, you know, obviously the guys playing outside of Wales at the minute, like Dan Biggar, for example. It'd be great to see Lewis Rees-Ahmed out there. The All Blacks are coming on good form. You know, there's no doubt about that. But you know, the one thing I think will excite the players is they haven't played in Cardiff with a crowd for 2 years. So I think just having that will be a massive boost, you know, for everyone. I think that'll be a big factor, not having empty stands and having 70,000 Welshmen there.
We like that. We like that pressure. We like that fear of failure. We like our success, and we use that as a motivating factor. That, you know, how do you get better? You practice harder. Because I do not want to be involved in a team that is involved losing to a team like Wales.
Don't think that it's over till you're in the dressing room having a shower, because it ain't over till it's over with them. We all tend to say that in sport, don't we? But certainly with the All Blacks, they're a phenomenal team. It's still ingrained in them. You
can't think inferiority complexes at all. You can't think we haven't won since '53. You've actually got to go out there and execute.